Hello, this is Michael Cammack, and I'm going to be going over what I worked on for Sprint 1 in the game balancing class. So for this milestone, we wanted to make sure that the player can go from one level to the next level seamlessly and smoothly. And one of the main things I wanted to make sure of was that the player can't teleport to every bonfire that's already in the scene. The first user story that I'm going to go over, it's as the player, I want to teleport to a bonfire only when I've interacted with it, so I can't teleport to areas I haven't been. So the completion criteria is pretty simple for this one. The bonfire can only be teleported to when interacted with. So let's go ahead and get that started. Alright, so if we go ahead and start up the game, it'll take us to our first level, which is going to be my level, which gets you introduced to the bonfires right off the bat, moving around and attacking enemies. So we have our bonfires here. When you interact with it, it pulls up a menu, and you're not able to teleport to all of the bonfires that we have in the level. We do have multiple bonfires, so the player will have to go through and find all of the bonfires in order to get their checkpoint and to teleport between them. So here's the first bonfire, and we'll play through like we're playing through the actual game as a player. We're introduced to our first enemies here. And then we can make our way at the very tippity top of the tower where our next bonfire is, where we can get a scenic view. And now we have two buttons, so to show the functionality, we can now teleport to this one, and we can teleport back to the tower. Ouch. And ouch. Yep, we died. And now we respawn back at the tower. So go ahead and make our way back down. And just to show that it does work with all the other ones, if I teleport to the boss room, it's the same for this one. You can't see any of them until you interact with them, and then you're able to teleport between them. And that's one of the things that I worked on. Okay, so for my next tasks, they kind of go hand in hand, so I'll just go in order here. The first user story here is, as the player, I want to have to kill the boss so that I can continue to the next level. In the description, so the player doesn't skip the boss fight in the level, the boss will drop an item that allows the player to open the gate to the next area. The completion criteria I have here is that we need a gate that doesn't let the player move forward unless they have that item. The boss drops an item after dying. The item is a pickup, and the gate opens when the item is picked up. So let's go ahead and head back into the game. Alright, so if we go ahead and head over to the boss area, this is the boss shrine, and on it is a secret lever. In order to open the gate, you have to interact with it with a certain item. So if you press F, you cannot open the gate, but if we go ahead and kill the boss, he's gonna spawn an item in front of his throne. You can see it's not here. If we go ahead and if we kill the boss, the spear spawns in here. If we pick it up and head back to the shrine and we press F, it opens the gate, and then you can continue on to the next level. Okay, now the reason that I say that these tasks go hand in hand is because for the Reaper boss, there was a bug when he teleported in his second phase. The lantern wouldn't shoot the projectile, it would shoot underneath it. So I went ahead and put up a bug report. When the Reaper boss reaches his second phase, he starts shooting from the lantern, but when he teleports to his position, the projectile shoots from a different spot. When the boss's health reaches 50%, he's supposed to teleport to a certain spot in the room and start shooting from that spot. What actually happens is when he reaches 50%, he starts shooting and then he teleports to that certain spot in the room, but the projectile stays underneath the boss. So I can go ahead and show a quick video of this in action. So here's what actually happens. He starts shooting with his lantern, that's correct. And then when he teleports to the spot in the room, the projectiles are shooting from where he used to be. And that's not what we want. Okay, so we went ahead and actually fixed the bug. So now if we go ahead and get the boss's health to 50%, he starts shooting. And then when he teleports to a spot, the projectiles teleport with him. It's shooting from up there. Okay, and finally, the last user story that I have here is for the projectile. And as a projectile, I want to be destroyed when I hit a wall, so I don't go through the walls. This one's pretty simple. For the projectiles, it needs to be destroyed when it collides with a wall, so it doesn't go through them. The completion criteria is that the projectile destroys when it's hit on the wall. So going back into the game, while the boss is shooting us, he's shooting at a wall. And the tag is called ground, but when it interacts with that or collides with that, it gets destroyed. So if we go over here, we can see that now they hit me and it gets destroyed on the wall. It also gets destroyed when it hits the player, so if it hits the tag of player, it gets destroyed. Alright, and that is what I worked on for this current sprint. Now I'm going to pass it off to my next teammate.